So, today I want to dive into what's going on in the city of Prosper, Texas, but more importantly, what is happening in the community of Windsong Ranch. Now, first up, let's talk a little bit about the city of Prosper. Now, the current population is just over 45,000 people, and it is growing at a rate of around 10% per year. It has already grown since the 2020 census about 47%. Now, Prosper has been known as the gateway to North Texas, and right now it is currently sitting at the ninth fastest growing community in the entire United States. And in case this is your first time possibly hearing about this area, Prosper is located about 35 miles north of downtown Dallas, and the community of Windsong Ranch is located on the south end of the city of Prosper, just north of the PGA headquarters, just north of the city of Frisco, Texas, on the north side of Highway 380. If you've been around in the area at all, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, let's dive into more specifically on Windsong Ranch and its community. Now, the community is being built on over 2,000 acres of land, and when it is fully built and complete, it will have over 3,300 homes located within its development. There are over 600 acres of green, wide open spaces, of lakes, of beautiful wooded creeks, lots of parks and trails all throughout the community. Now, the outdoor fields that they have out there for soccer practice, baseball practice, football practice, they have a community garden, and of course, their amazing amenities, which is exactly what they are known for. Now, we will get into more on the amenities, which is kind of why I'm here a little bit in just a minute. But of course, if you are watching this, you're considering buying a home, you want to know what home prices are, and if possibly you could afford your next home in the community of Windsong Ranch. Now, Windsong Ranch is made up of not only single family homes, but they also have one story, what they call their little villas, as well as two-story townhomes. And those homes are ranging from around 1,400 square feet to over 5,800 square feet if you're building a big, beautiful custom home in the community. Prices in the community of Windsong Ranch currently on the market right now are ranging from $465,000 to over $2.5 million. And on the market, currently listed in MLS, there are 57 current active listings. 34 of them are actually new construction. But of course, that's just what's listed in MLS. If you're looking for new construction specifically, all of the builders have different information that we can get for you. So that's kind of another reason why we always say reach out to us, let us know how we can help, because we do get some of that insider information on what is to come in the specific communities all throughout DFW with a lot of these builders. Also, a lot of these builders are still currently building, and if you have your heart set on picking your lot, picking all of your finishes, you can still do that in Windsong Ranch as well. Now, there have been multiple builders building throughout Windsong Ranch over the years, including some custom homes with lot sizes that do range from obviously the little townhouses, not having really any lots at all, basically, to around a half an acre. So you're not really getting 1, 2+ acres if you are living in the community of Windsong Ranch. I know people say they moved to Texas, they want land, and they think they can get it anywhere, but you're really not going to probably find that in the community of Windsong Ranch. Some of the builders right now are building in around phase 6, but some are also building around 7, 8, and 9, just kind of depending on when they got started and what phases the particular builders are at. There are new construction homes, and obviously, which is why I'm here today, and those prices are already starting now in the low $700,000 range. So that is starting. Obviously, we're going to have to add to it if you are wanting to build from the ground up. Okay, so I know that there are a lot of options out there when you are purchasing a home, and I always recommend that you need to take into account all of the factors. Do you have to maybe commute for work, and where is that commute going to be? What is your budget? Maybe like the location. Do you have family that you want to live near? And more specifically, maybe schools. Maybe schools are a factor, but maybe those are not. And if you do want someplace with maybe some amenities, an HOA, you're okay with that. But obviously, the cost of the HOA, and more specifically in a lot of these areas in North Texas, the taxes and what all those taxes are going to take into account as well. So if you do want new construction or maybe even a pre-owned home, they have a lot of different options in Windsong Ranch. But there are also a lot of other areas all throughout Prosper and DFW that could most likely be a better fit for you. So if you do have questions, you find out throughout this video that maybe Windsong Ranch really isn't what you are looking for, reach out to me. There are so many different options. Dallas is a really big place, and I would be more than happy to kind of help you narrow that down and find the perfect fit for you. All right, so let's look at some homes, because who doesn't love looking at model homes? And the first model that I do want to talk about today is from Tradition Homes. This is a new model that they have built out in Windsong Ranch, and it's on their 61-foot product. This particular model is their 4541 plan, and the prices for this one are starting at around $830,000 for a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom house. Now, it does have 3 full bedrooms and bathrooms downstairs, which honestly is a great idea. I've worked with a couple of clients over the last couple of years who really want to have multiple bedrooms downstairs, not just the primary bedroom and not just a guest room. So having 3 full bedrooms down there, I think is really fantastic with this particular model. They also have a flex room / study if you need that, like an office maybe. And they also have a downstairs media room as well. So having that downstairs media room / playroom / movie room, whatever you want, having that downstairs. And then they also have a giant bonus room that's upstairs, as well as a 4th bedroom. So you can customize structurally, add on a little bit, but just something to think about, knowing that this particular floor plan, you have that option of those 3 bedrooms downstairs. Now, the prices for the 61-foot product do start in the high $700,000 range, and the sizes do range from around 2,650 to over 3,700 square feet, kind of depending on the specs and the different additions that you may want if you are actually building your home. Now, one thing with Tradition that I do like is that a lot of the things that you may think would be upgrades in a home, because you look at a model home and everything seems to be an upgrade. But with Tradition, a lot of the upgrades that they offer are actually already included with what you get from them as a builder. So yes, of course, one can always go a little crazy, add all kinds of different upgrades and features to their home, but there really are a lot of standard features that would be considered upgrades with a lot of the other builders that might be out there. Tradition also still has some of their 71-foot product here in Windsong Ranch that are available, and those prices are now starting in the low $900,000 range. So let me know if you do want more information on both of the different products and what they're offering between the 2 different lot sizes and the 2 different products that Tradition is offering in Windsong Ranch. There are also a number of lots that they do still have available for Tradition on both of the different lot sizes. So if you want to know a little bit more, reach out and I would be happy to get you that information that might help you make a decision. All right, now let's get into all of the amenities. Let's kind of take a little turn here and talk about the amenities of Windsong Ranch. And of course, the number one amenity, which is the biggest deal that they have, is going to be their 5-acre freshwater crystal blue lagoon, which really has put Windsong Ranch on the map of kind of the standards that everybody else is trying to chase. Which master plan community is going to have the next biggest and most amazing amenities? Because how can you really compete with the big lagoon that they have in Windsong Ranch? So not only is the lagoon used for swimming, but you can also rent kayaks and paddle boards. They have diving platforms that the kids can go jump off into the water because they have pretty much like a nice big 8-foot deep section. So jumping into the water, kind of like off a high dive, I guess you could say, you're not going to worry about your kids hitting their head when they go down. So having those nice diving platforms, I know my kids always loved that when we would go to the pools when they were growing up. They also have areas where you can play beach volleyball. They have a children's play area out there and a large covered pavilion, which is really honestly a great spot that you could host birthday parties and a big family get together because it is outfitted with tables and barbecue grills. So really kind of think of your kid's birthday party in the summertime and you can grill and bring in all kinds of food and friends instead of kind of taking them to Chuck E. Cheese, because that's really kind of what we had growing up. I mean, nothing too exciting like they do these days. They also have an area in Windsong Ranch that they call the Commons. Now, this particular amenity area is near the southern entrance to the community, and it is overlooking one of the lakes that they have in Windsong Ranch. It really is their primary hub for the neighborhood. It's the kind of one of the first things that you see as you do drive into the community. It is just really a great hub for all of the residents for a ton of the community events that Windsong Ranch puts on. Down in the Commons, they have a resort style pool with a zero entry area that you could sit there and play with your little ones. They also have a kids splash pad. They have other kids playground areas. They have a fitness center down there, as well as sports courts where you can play tennis and pickleball, as well as basketball. You can even sign up for tennis lessons, or they host all kinds of different tennis tournaments and pickleball tournaments in Windsong Ranch as well. So you can join in one of those if you are feeling extra competitive. Now, the Commons is also where Windsong Ranch has their Windsong Ranch Cafe. So you can grab lunch with your girlfriends, you can grab a coffee on your way to work, or just a great space if you want somewhere different than working out of your house. They have free Wi-Fi. You can go sit there and eat lunch, enjoy your coffee, and work right from the Windsong Ranch Cafe. They even have an outdoor lounge area right there with a fire pit and nice comfy seating so you can sit and relax and kind of hang out with your neighbors, just like a really good hangout spot if you want to just hang out with friends in your community. Now, there are 2 more amenity centers which are going to be coming, and one of them is currently under construction, and that is the amenity center that they are calling the Bridge. It is going to be their 3rd major amenity area, which will be used more for the residents to enjoy different kinds of entertainment or social events, or somewhere where they can just kind of sit outside and relax as well. Now, it will have an inside multi-purpose event space for fitness classes. It's going to have a space for different club meetings if you want to host a meeting there, maybe throw even a wedding or your wedding reception. It's also going to have beautiful, amazing catering kitchen, which they're talking about, as well as large outdoor and indoor seating areas, fireplaces, outdoor fire pits, sofas, and just nice little lounge areas. Tables, chairs, bring lunch, grab pizza, and sit and hang out if you just want like a nice little area to hang out outside. The Bridge is just going to be one of those places that is just a beautiful outdoor area filled with tons of trees out there and a large open lawn space that is going to actually end up connecting a lot of the parks and the trails that do weave in and out of the community of Windsong Ranch. So that will have amphitheater style seating. It's going to have a stage outside, so you might see some sort of play. Let's see, probably like a little Christmas recital, thinking back when my daughter was little and they had their little dance recital out at the little local amphitheater, which was really cute. So you never know what you're going to find in regards to outdoor events and entertainment. And a lot of them will probably be hosted there at the Bridge once it's completed. So it's just really going to be one of the community's major social gathering spots, and you never know what is going to be coming next. So can't wait to see that when it is finished. Now, the 4th amenity center, which is getting ready to get started being built, which should be done sometime later on in 2025. And this one looks pretty cool as well. And that one's going to be called the Courthouse. I'm sure you can guess at what it is and what is coming. It is going to be what is known as the community's Racket and Sports Club. It's going to be another really great gathering area. It's not just going to be your tennis courts, I guess you could say, but just an area where you can hang out. You can sit and play pickleball, tennis, and And they are also going to have what they're calling their beer garden, which bring your own beer or maybe your own Diet Coke or maybe your own bottled water. I mean, I don't know if you don't drink beer, but that's what they're calling it. Nice covered tables, patio area, so you can sit and hang out. So a lot of people are kind of envisioning it like chicken and pickle, if you have maybe that around where you can eat, drink, and play pickleball all the time. But it is going to be their courthouse right in more on the north end of the community of Windsong Ranch. So another great area that people can't wait to see because it's going to have indoor and outdoor options. So, maybe it's raining, maybe it's cold, and you'll be grateful that you can be playing underneath the pavilion and not having to be outside in all of the elements. So as you can tell, the amenities at Windsong Ranch really are very impressive. People find the community so much more than what they actually even thought it would be when they get there and they actually see it in person. So if you maybe get to work from home, or maybe you never ever need to leave your house, well, you might never ever have to leave the community of Windsong Ranch because of everything that it is going to offer when it is completely finished. Now, next up, I do want to highlight another builder. Let's talk about another one that's in the community because maybe you don't want to spend $1 million on your next house. Granted, prices are not cheap still, but the particular builder I want to talk about is Normandy Homes. Now, this model is part of their 50-foot series, and it is their Versailles model, which is pretty much their largest model that they do offer out here. And Normandy is also building on 61-foot lots as well. So just kind of depending on if you need a little bit more breathing room, because I personally think the 50-foot lots are kind of small, a little too close to your neighbors, but they do have the 50 and the 61-foot options. But also maybe that's why you move into a community like Windsong Ranch, because you have all of the amenities and you really only need to be at home to eat and sleep. So just something to think about. Now, there's prices do start with Normandy at just over $700,000, and that's for over 2,800 square feet. So the homes are not tiny, and they actually have some really great layouts. They do have in their 61-foot product, those prices are starting at just over $760,000. And their home and those size of homes are starting at just over 3,200 square feet. And of course, those do go on up based on what type of things that you might be changing out with structural options when you are building. Granted, builders, I do feel like in this day and age, don't offer as many options as they used to, but definitely there are still some that you can add, like an additional bedroom upstairs, for example. So just something to think about. That you might not need to make a ton of changes structurally when you are building a house. Now, if you did possibly have your heart set on maybe building a custom home, or you want to find a home that is more you, maybe you have a really nice, healthy budget. So there are two builders that are building custom homes in Windsong Ranch still. Granted, they do not have a lot of options left, but Shattuck and Partners in Building are both offering custom built homes in Windsong Ranch. So again, just a few lots left, but they do have a couple of homes still available, like move-in ready homes. So reach out if you want more information about that, because they have some gorgeous homes that they have built in Windsong Ranch. But of course, they also do have a couple of lots if you want to start from the ground up and just build your absolute dream home. But I will say prices are starting at around $2 million. And if that's not in your budget, we can find you something else. So reach out and let me know. But just wanted you to know, Windsong Ranch does have smaller options as well as completely custom options within the community as well. Now, in the community of Windsong Ranch, when we're talking about maybe you're moving with kids, maybe you're moving with your family, they do currently have one elementary school within the community. And when it is completely built out, they're going to have two elementary schools, one middle school, and one high school. Now, Prosper does continually make top rankings for their schools and just being a really great school district to have your kids go to. So essentially, that's another bonus for maybe moving to the city of Prosper because of the schools. I know I have multiple clients who are specifically looking at that for those reasons, knowing of what the programs are being offered in Prosper ISD. So Windsong Ranch, again, like I said, you could move in there and you may never have to leave because all of your kids could ride their bikes to school and nothing would be outside of the community. Now, HOA is definitely always something that people think about when moving to a master plan community. And I will say, even though the HOA at Windsong Ranch is a little bit high, for what you get, it's probably well worth the money, especially compared to some of the others that I've heard about. The HOA in Windsong Ranch for the single family homes is $181 a month. It is billed quarterly. And for the villas and the townhomes, those properties do pay an additional $254 per month, but that does include outside maintenance, the roofs, as well as irrigation and the landscaping. So you don't have to worry about mowing your lawn if you live over there. And everybody does want to know about taxes, of course. It's a big deal when people are moving here. And the tax rate in the community of Windsong Ranch is currently 2.8%. But even better, because it is in the city of Prosper, there are no additional taxes. We talk about the mud tax and the PID tax all the time. In Windsong Ranch, they don't have any additional taxes. So you're paying your 2.18%. And I mean, obviously, let's just hope that our taxes don't keep going up. So no additional taxes when you're living in Windsong Ranch. But again, multiple communities throughout Prosper and Salina do have additional taxes attached to them. And I always recommend checking into that if that is something that you're concerned about. Some people don't even care. But anyway, I hate our property taxes here. So it's definitely something that I make sure that I'm thinking about, and especially want to make sure that my clients think about before making that move, just to at least make sure that everybody is aware. So again, if you are looking for a great community, if you're looking for one where you can be active, you can have a lot, like tons of social activities and events, then honestly, you really should check out Windsong Ranch. Just because it has a beautiful Blue Lagoon that everybody talks about, there are so many other great reasons why a lot of people are considering moving into the community of Windsong Ranch. So if you don't have a lot of worrying about maybe the traffic and commuting constantly, because I will tell you, in and out of the community can be kind of a nightmare. I was just up there and left at 5 o'clock and the traffic was insane. But the prices, depending on what your budget is, they might be a little bit high, or maybe they're right within your budget. So if Windsong Ranch could be the perfect spot for you, again, don't hesitate to reach out. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Let me know how I can help you find that perfect spot here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, maybe in the city of Prosper, or maybe in the community of Windsong Ranch. And until next time, take care.